All right, I'm going to do a little thing called Special Teams Sunday, each Sunday here of the season on a lot of the DMs I get, kind of what's happening. One of those I always get at this time because some coaches start thinking about their special teams right now, is kickoff coverage. All right, and here's where I tell coaches. Today I had one, hey, I'm thinking about moving us from middle of the field to a hash this year. I told him, move the ball all over the place on your kickoffs. And I told probably 3 or 4 coaches that this week. Here's why. As a kickoff return guy, now I spent a lot of time on my special teams, and I made a real point to do that. And I think it's why my special teams had good success. And I got a lot of data to back that claim up. You know, like a 3-7 team with the 3rd best kickoff return out of 40 teams in our division. That points to very good special teams, right? When the team's 3-7, the defense ranks in the 30s, the offense ranks in the 30s, and your special teams rank 3rd. That's a good indication your special teams kickoff return is very good. One of the reasons we had good success with special teams over the years was we would draw stuff up per week, or I would have like 10 or 12 kick returns that we could use throughout the course of the year. Yes, it takes time. It takes time and energy. Some coaches don't want to put that time and energy into special teams because their offense or defense is so good and they just don't care. And that's fine. That's not a judgment. Every coach has a different philosophy. But if you're in average programs, not championship type caliber programs year in and year out with phenomenal offense and defense, you're gonna look for any way to get an advantage you can. So we rolled out a lot of different, my last year as a football coach in 2017 at Victor Valley College, we used 13 different kick returns throughout the course of the year. And again, what we would do, you look and evaluate a kickoff coverage team, and then I would decide on how are we going to attack this team this week. What are we going to do? Is there a kick return in my arsenal we want to pull out, we think is really good? Or do we feel like we can draw one up to take advantage of this kick return team? So here's what's real important about that, right? If I see a team kick off from the same place to the same place every single week for 7 weeks, I know that they're got a very high probability of kicking off the same place this week when we play them. Now all the rage is statistical analysis and stats, right? With football, that's something the good coaches have been doing for 20, 30 years. They've just called it different things. Now you've got analytic guys sitting in computers doing all this stuff at the high levels of football. But in week 8, I'm going to document every single kickoff for the first 7 weeks. I create a land chart. I've got a lot of stuff on my website, coachfore.org, resources there on how we do that, articles on how we do that. We're going to create a land chart based on where that kid has kicked it. And if they use 2 different kickers, I'm going to create 2 different land charts. And if they're kicking the same 5-yard, 8-yard radius every single kick for 7 weeks, I'm going to put one returner right there in that little radius. I'm not going to waste another returner. A lot of guys roll out the same kick return team every single week for 10 weeks, right? They don't evaluate at all the kickoff team. You can get a lot out of your kick return team if you evaluate the kickoff team. Why put 2 returners on the 5-yard lines, each on a hash, if the first 7 weeks or the first 2 weeks you see every kickoff from the left hash to the sideline? You're wasting an entire person over here, right? Now, there's a lot that goes into this. You got to do your work. But what I'll do, if you give us that look, if you've put the first 3 weeks or 7 weeks or 10 weeks, you've kicked the ball from our left hash to the sideline, I'm going to put one returner on that left hash because he can cover that amount of line. Then I'm going to put one returner up over on the center of the field. And I'm going to say, I dare you I dare you to kick it somewhere you haven't kicked it all year. I'll take that risk, right? So I'll put a returner on the center of the field, middle of field, and I'll realign my two return guys that way. Why? Because it gives me a whole extra body on a return to set up, where we can tell that kid, hey, your first priority is to catch the ball if it comes to you, but 98% of the kicks this year went right here. So that's why I tell coaches all the time, move the ball all over. Middle of field, left hash, right hash. That's what I love to do as a kickoff guy. Not every year, not every time. Every team is different that I had. But if you move it around, they can't guess. You cannot set up a great kick return if you keep them on their heels and you keep them guessing where the ball's going. That year I coached JUCO a couple years ago, we started on about the 45-yard line. We had, against this certain team, I'm not going to name names, but against this certain team, we started on about the 45. The best kick return game I had all year. We had all year. We returned one for a touchdown, got called back on a holding call, unfortunately. We returned another one down to about the 7. We returned one down to about the 25 because I put in a dynamite kickoff return because they did the same thing all year. And this was week 8 or 9. If you are able to set up something specific to your week, yes, it takes more time during the week. That's just a program philosophy, but it's going to really help you. So 2 things, takeaways, we can wrap this up. 1, kickoff return. Stop rolling out the same return every week if you want to make the most out of your kickoff return team. Number two, kickoff team, move that ball around. Don't be predictable. Even move your best guys around. I tell a story all the time. 2014, Los Osos. I was at Oak Hills. We were playing Los Osos. I think we played them in week 3 or 4. They had one guy, middle of the field. They lined him up right at a 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 1 on the sideline, 5 in the middle. That's how we count them. He lined up at a 5. He had 95% of the tackles. He was a stud linebacker. 95% of the tackles on kickoff. Folks, I said this guy's making 95% of the tackles. He ain't going to make a tackle against us this week. It's just not going to happen. We triple teamed them the first 2 kickoffs. That means, yes, there were other guys open. Guess what? Those guys had never made a tackle all year. So part of their philosophy, they had 2 guys really wide, like were just contained guys. No one was ever going to, they were never going to make a tackle, right? So I gave up blocking them, triple teamed homeboy in the middle. He did not make a tackle against us. And he was throwing a fit, and we got inside his head. And that rolled over to defense. So anyway, that's how I do things. That's how we had better than average special teams during the course of my 18 years coaching. I love it. I love being able to, it gives your team a lot of confidence when you can draw up a kick return. You can coach it on Monday at lunchtime. You can go out there and walk through it 8 or 9 times. You have to do a good job of coaching up the kickoff, your scout kickoff team. And how I did it on Mondays, we would roll through that, as I said, 8 or 9 times, okay? And just walk. Here's your angle. Here's the depth you got to get, then accelerate. And then we would jog through that a few times, and then we'd do like 1 full speed rep on Monday. And then on Wednesday, we would do 3 or 4, again, jogging through. There's no reason to have full speed collisions. And by the time, Thursday, we do it 2 or 3 times. And again, I'd rather have I'm getting off on a tangent, but most of your special teams issues on kickoff and kick return is guys not getting to where they're supposed to be because you as a coach haven't done a very good job of teaching them and walking through it. I would rather jog through it 20 times during a week than go full speed 3 times. Okay, and it gives your guys a ton of confidence. And when I say that, I mean I did a lot of man returns my last decade in the business. Man assignments, not just zone assignments. We did a ton of man assignments on kick returns because you can hold kids accountable that way. Number 3 comes down and make the tackle. Hey, Woods, you had number 3. What happened? So that's what we did on kickoff, kick return. A quick commercial. I've got 28 kickoff and punt returns and blocks, 28 kickoff and punt returns and blocks from my 2014 season. I've got all those in one bundle. I think it's $14. It comes as a PDF and it comes as a PowerPoint for you to show your folks. Guys, save a ton of time and energy. Again, you've got 10 or 12 kickoff returns already built for you. You can pull those out looking at what looks you see that week. And if it matches up, use it, adjust it as you need to. But 8laces.org, 8laces.org. I think it's $14. It's cheap. All right, so hit me up in the DMs. You got any questions on special teams? We'll do a little special teams Sunday throughout the course of this year. See ya.